So ladies and gents, we're on the Bunning stand and with Mr. Chris Struce, Sales Director of Bunning. The cat's out of the bag, Chris. You're back in the trailer business.
Yeah.
After how many years now?
13.
13 years.
Yeah.
Now's the time, 2024.
Yeah.
We're coming back in the trailer business
We
because you were famous for your trailers quite, a few moons ago, and you've done them for a long time as well.
Yeah, we started in 1963
Right.
and built the first trailer using second-hand lorry axles and whatever we could lay our hands on. And a local farmer bought that and his neighbours saw it and
We'll have one of them.
Went up to the green in Gressenhall and asked the Bunnings if they'd make them one. And that's how we sort of got into it, and gradually with extra factory space we built more and more different models and types of trailers, and everyone locally, not everyone, but an awful lot of local farmers would have a Bunning trailer of several different styles.
That's it, because you still see a few about, don't you?
We do, yeah. And so we had to put them on the back burner back in 2010 because the trailer order book, spreader order book was so full.
Right, so the spreaders kind of sort of took over.
We were kind of letting people down on delivery times on spreaders, and we were doing 90% spreaders, and
so you could see which way it was going.
Yeah. So and we were selling spreaders from Land's End to John O'Groats and from Saskatchewan in Canada to Esperance in Australia. So we were selling trailers in East Anglia. So
it was a slightly different market.
Yeah. So that was and it was the right thing to do for the business, and we've grown considerably by concentrating on the spreaders. And we were fortunate enough to invest in a 7,000 square metre extension to the factory 3 years ago. And we've just about completed all that work on that now, and so we've got a lot more floor space. And every year we get asked by Bunning trailer customers, when are you going to do trailers again?
So those old customers that have had your trailers, they're after the replacement now, are they?
Yeah, so one local contractor, he's in the next village, when he heard we were doing these again, he's ordered that trailer, that's his.
That's gone?
Yeah,
right.
That's already sold. And then another big farmer in Norfolk who they push us every year to make trailers again, they've ordered 2. And
right.
So it's...
the demand was there.
Oh yeah,
all along.
Yeah, we haven't done this on a whim or a prayer. It's
and hopefully at some point, the success of this may match the success of the spreaders, and in terms of its footprint globally and where it could go. And
who knows? I mean, it's with social media these days. It's. I did a post at the weekend, and I've had.
Is that the one pulling out the factory? Yeah.
Dealer in New Zealand's been on, wants price and specification. Our dealer in South Korea wants information, and so the beauty of that, and now our dealer network's strong across the whole of the UK as well, is that we're getting more interest than we 13 years ago. We just didn't get that reach that we do now.
Now you've got it.
Yeah.
Well, that's great that the demand's there, isn't it? So the trailers that you built then, what are you offering in terms of, I suppose, your sizes?
So we're starting out with 4 models.
Yeah.
This is a 16.
Yeah.
We're going to do 14, 18 and 20 as well.
Right.
So the 16 and 18 are the same length.
Yeah.
Just different height sides. The 14 will be shorter and the 20 is longer.
Yeah.
Initially using the same springs on all 4 trailers and the same axles. So it's a 28-ton suspension set, and they're 127mm round commercial axles. And air hydraulic brakes with load sensing on the airline. Yeah. So it's all fairly standard gear. Yeah. But we're sticking at the moment with these ADR axles. We've got a good relationship with them, but we're also looking at what other people are using and getting some feedback.
That's
from
exactly.
People.
So obviously you got these initial models that you're going to release first. Is that a case now of testing the waters, see how they go, see what the uptake's like, and then maybe either some bigger ones or some smaller ones or different varieties of ones?
Yeah, we've since even before the show, Ben, our UK sales manager, was getting WhatsApp messages over the weekend from customers that are running spreaders. And will he make low loaders? Will he be making construction, dump trailers and things like that? So There's potential to do a whole range of trailers,
right?
But we're just going to take it steady and not, you know, we would have built low loader trailers back in the 90s, but we'd have done it without drawings. We'd have done it from a notebook, cut the box section and the chassis and everything to lengths and built it from memory rather than drawing. So we're now, the factory is such that we're using laser cutters and press brakes that require drawings. So we're going to draw everything before we build it. So that's a bit of the constraint.
There's a bit more thought into this one.
The design office time. We've overloaded them already. So it's sort of.
And speaking of design, because I mean, trailer market, busy market, well saturated. What is setting you apart?
I don't know too much about what the competition are doing. We only know that this works.
You know what you can do.
Yeah, so that's
fair play, is that?
150mm wide chassis, 300 deep. We went over to that back in the 90s from a 250mm deep chassis. We would get people using their trailers for all sorts of things and putting them under great strain. And so that's really like how we built the spreaders to how they are today. There's feedback from users. Where are the weak points? What do we need to do to strengthen it, improve it? So this chassis structure is a huge part to the success.
There's a lot of what you've learned over the years is in this.
So that's an important feature. We haven't changed that. The body styling is the same as we were doing 13 years ago.
Is it?
We've made the two vertical pressings a bit wider. It's more of a visual impact than it is for strength.
It looks beefy. It is beefy.
We've made the top rail deeper. It's 120mm deep. It used to be 80 deep and 80 square. It's 80 by 120 now.
It does look substantial. Like you look at these chamfered corners and chamfered edges and.
So the reason behind so our early trailers, we would have had a vertical welded on box about every 18 inches. And then we'd have done the same underneath the floor. We'd have put loads of little runners there and you weld it all. And then what you find is that you get dents and it doesn't spring back.
No.
It just creases.
Lots of little sags, don't you, down the length of the trailer.
So the Bunning family learnt that over the years, and we increased the distance between all these welded items, and so you put less stress into the steel. I've been out and looked at trailers that are 25 years old, 20 years old, and they're still straight as a die. So there must have been, they knew what they were doing. So,
is that part of your problem then, Chris? You made the trailers too well all them years ago, which is why no one's needed to buy any for a long time.
It's a bit like that.
I presume your trailers must be just about wearing out now that people want them.
Some are wearing out. I mean, we've had some of the Facebook comments coming back from people that have shown us, put pictures on there. They've got 30-year-old trailers and they're still using them. And so, I mean, a lot of the success when we've moved over to this paint system of how well they look, the older trailers, is with the same paint we use on the spreaders. So we're shot blasting, removing any impurities and rust and grease and things like that. And then we're using the 2-pack zinc primer, and we put that on and very thick coating of that. And then the top coat's the same material. We don't put it on quite as thick, but and that's what the trailers I've been out and looked at. They're 20 years old, clean down and look nearly new. So
that's it. And like just sort of going back to this body design, it's almost, I suppose you say it's almost monococking sort of style.
The corners, if you get a lot of strength out of pressing steel, you don't need to be welding it a lot to get strength. There's a huge amount of strength gained from a pressing, so that's why we went around the corner like that in the front.
And then just moving back around to axles and running gear, so suspension, we got leaf spring on this, have we?
Multi-leaf, 28-ton capacity. That's an ADR suspension. The last batch of trailers we made were on a single spring, which we were told at the time that's what we should be using, but speaking to the guys that had the last batch of trailers, they'd rather not have that again. So this is quite a common spring set that you would see across the industry now.
That's it. And any steering axle options at all?
Yeah, we'll be doing that. Haven't had an inquiry for one yet, but it's very early days. We've got a local contractor that we were talking to about. He's got Bunning trailers and a couple of other makes, and he had some steering axle trailers, and his actual thinking is that he wouldn't have them again. He would go back to having straight axles. So, but everyone's got their own requirements, and we do steering axles on spreaders.
Exactly.
Quite a lot on the tandems and the triaxles. So it's nothing new.
No, that's it. Like we've sort of hinted at, you know, there's a lot of knowledge that you've learned over the years with the spreaders and your previous trailers that you've honed it all, honed it down into this.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the drawbar on this trailer is the same as a spreader drawbar.
Yeah.
It's probably over-engineered and a bit over the top for the capacity of the trailer.
But it'll last.
But we know it'll last.
Yeah.
We've seen the stress that spreader customers put the drawbars through. So and it helps with a bit of commonality for us in the factory. The guys are up to speed on making them. The tube for the drawbars laser cut, so everything's the holes for the spring U-bolts and things are all laser cut into them. So that bit of cost.
And have you got some silage side options yet?
Yeah, we'd be doing typically I think a 900mm silage extension.
Yeah.
Rollover sheets. All the things that people will need on a trailer. There's no point in going back into it and saying, we're not doing this and we're not doing that. So,
I'm going to say, it's like, we're all in.
Well, that's what I said to the family and our ops manager, who's been with the company 42 years, I said, we're going back into this, we're doing it properly.
Absolutely.
Well,
it certainly looks like it.
Good.
From what we're seeing here.
Yeah.
I think we'll definitely need to try one at some point.
Yeah, we'll try and work that out for you.
We've got a big shopping list today, haven't we, Chris? We've got a hell of a wish list building up.
One of the biggest sweetie shops.
I know. Is it? I'll bet that.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, as ever, thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
It's great to see you back in the trail again. Hope you go well.
Thanks.
Can't wait to see them out in the field.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Thank you very much.
All right.